You know, working in the CIA for the last 40 years, I've learned some very powerful secrets about the universe and secrets about your own psychology. These are laws of the universe that only people like me in the CIA know. These are laws of the universe that only people like me in the CIA, no, I'm just joking, I wasn't in the CIA, but would have been cool if I learned some of these secrets. But now in this video, I'm gonna be talking about something very important, right? There's kind of two things. One is, there's a group of things that I wish I knew earlier, laws of the universe, laws of psychology. And then there's things that I wish I never knew, right? You know, the things you're like, I wish I never knew that. Well, in this video, we're going to be talking about the former, which is things that I wish I did know earlier. These are laws of the universe that will help you make more money. These are laws of the universe that are going to help you create your success quicker, faster, and easier, feel more confident, raise your self-esteem, attract more ideal relationships in your life, not just romantically. Although, if you don't have better sex in 30 days, you'll get your money back guaranteed. But also relationships in business and friendships too. So my name's Jake Ducey, and the rest of the video I'll be a little bit more serious, I promise. But hey, if I made you laugh, make sure you hit the like button, give me a comment right there down below. My free success hypnosis is right there down below too. Let's dive right into this video. All right, law number one that I wish I knew earlier is called Hebbs Law. Not my law, Hebbs Law. Not your law, Hebbs Law. So Hebbs Law is H-E-B-B-S. We know for a fact that you forget like 90% of everything that you hear in the first 24 hours. Not you though, but everybody else except for you. So to make sure that you're with me here and this video is actually very valuable to you, comment down below Hebbs Law, H-E-B-B-S. So Hebbs Law is a term in neuroscience that says that nerve cells that fire together wire together. Nerve cells that fire together wire together. And you go, well, what the hell does that have to do with my money? Well, your bank account, which is just a bunch of light photons flitting and fleeting at a very quick speed, your bank account is just a reflection of how Hebbs Law has programmed your brain with respect to money and all activities you do and do not take with respect to money. That's all it is. Your entire outer reality is a mirror pushed out of how Hebbs Law has conditioned your brain to create reality. So when you're young, you're like a sponge, right? They say that in the first few years of our life, we're in a state of hypnosis almost the entire time. Pretty crazy. The brainwave state is akin to hypnosis. We don't have much of a conscious mind. I've got a she just turned over 1 year old, my daughter, Jada. And I seen that firsthand. It goes right in there. So think about you. Everything's went right into your mind all this time. Then when you start to feel and you hear the first good and bad things about money, the first good and bad things for your confidence, for your self-esteem, love, whatever it is, Hebbs Law says that you fire nerve cells. In other words, you fire cells in your brain all day long. And so if it's a positive thing about money, your parents argued about money and it was negative, whatever it was, your parents argued and they always got in relationship fights and then they got divorced and you learned that love is pain, or you had an abusive relationship with either your parents or romantic relationships, whether someone in your family went bankrupt, whether they always told you to stop being so greedy when you just wanted to buy some ice cream and they said, we don't have enough money for any of that. Whatever it is that's programmed into you about love, relationships, everything you learned about diet, all these types of things, they're cells that get activated in our mind. And then through Hebbs Law, cells that fire together wire together. So all these little cells start wiring. It's little you, it's little baby Jake. I'm firing these cells. Eventually, by the time I'm 12, 14, I'm starting to build neural connections, patterns of how do I respond to people, patterns in my relationships, my self-esteem, my self-confidence. This all starts to get memorized. And when you think and feel the same way over and over, those cells build together. I always liken it to an old growth forest in an old growth forest, trees in that forest with a root system. And when you look underneath the topsoil, they're all like intertwined together. It's actually kind of cool, right? Like it's something that like we could all nerd out about. It's all these roots grow together. Well, that's how your mind works, your brain more specifically. Mind is just activity of the electromagnetic frequency. But the way your brain operates is through nerve cells that fire together and wire together. So most people memorize the pattern and play the pattern out their entire life. But Hebbs Law says also, we now know from neuroplasticity, neuroplasticity says neuro is brain and plastic is changeable. So brain changeable, that's what neuroplasticity means. The brain is mendable to suggestion. We used to say things in psychology like you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Actually, you can, because it's just wired into your mind. You just have to rewire it. And so Hebbs Law is very powerful because you realize that you can literally reprogram your mind. That's why I always talk about my success hypnosis. It's right there down below. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's my free success hypnosis to start to reprogram your subconscious mind. When you think and feel differently, you activate new cells from Hebbs Law. When you activate new cells in your brain from Hebbs Law, those cells fire and wire together. You start to build a new mind. You start to build a new brain. You update the software the same way you update the software on a computer, and you delete the viruses to make the operating system perform better. That's what we're doing. That viruses are the limiting belief systems that aren't floating around airy-fairy. They've actually been wired into the neurological structure of your mind, but through repetition, thinking and feeling different ways, and using my success hypnosis, you can start to build literally a new mind. So the question is, what kind of mind do you want to build? If you could build any mind you want and you live in an infinite universe, what kind of mind do you want to build? Do you want to build a mind that is a happy spiritual multimillionaire? Or have you already built the mind that says that that's not possible and I must be like talking out of my butt? So right there down below is my free success hypnosis, jakeshypnosis.com. Let's move on to law number 2. Law number 2 is the law of vibration. I wish I knew this one earlier because it's very powerful when you understand that the whole universe is just energy. So I want you to touch your own hand right now, literally with me right now. Don't just hear me. Actually touch your hand. Go like this right now. Go like this, please. Please, go like this, please. When you do that, it feels solid, right? Well, this finger is 99.99999% empty space. So the law of vibration says everything is energy and it's always in motion. We actually live in a sea of motion, in an ocean of motion. All of this energy is flitting and fleeting in every which direction, and it all is energy vibrating at different rates and speeds that give it different shapes and different colors, but it's all just energy. And we know this as a fact. But we're taught to believe we are what we see in the mirror. We're taught to believe we are our past, our story. That's 1% of who you are. Literally, your entire hand, the chair you're sitting on, the phone or computer, it's actually 99% empty space. It's actually moving, bro. It's moving. It's energy, right? Like it actually is though. And when we understand that, then we understand that thoughts are energy too. This becomes very powerful because we realize that since everything is energy, first of all, we aren't our past. Second of all, we're more than our body. Third of all, there's no such thing as death, so there's nothing to really be afraid of. We don't need to be afraid of death. We need to be afraid of not really living. We need to be afraid of not having courage. So the list goes on and on and on. And what I invite you to do is start to look at the world as energy. Start to look at your thoughts as energy, and start to look at yourself as energy instead of a body. So I want you to imagine yourself. Here's a picture right now I want you to see. This is like a electromagnetic field of a person that you're seeing right now. I want you to imagine yourself like that because your energy, there is no line of demarcation between where energy stops and starts again. So really your hand extends a lot further than your hand, and your energy field extends at least a few feet. And this energy field, the frequency of it, is controlled by your thoughts and feelings. So think about a radio tuner in your car, and you tune it to the right station. Think of your thoughts and feelings like the tuner that changes your station, your frequency pattern, your station of your energy field. Think of it the exact same way, because all the different radio bandwidths they're different frequency patterns, they're different realities, that's what they are. But they're all available instantaneously at any second if you shift the radio knob to the right bandwidth or the right frequency. Well, you are broadcasting a frequency all the time. It controls your emotions, the people you attract into your life, your thoughts, everything. And if you realize that your thoughts and feelings create it and control your energy, and that everything else is energy, man, life gets a lot easier. Life feels a lot better, and you're no longer as afraid anymore. It kind of comes to that whole thing Steve Jobs says, once you realize the world was built by people no smarter than you can mold it, shape it, and change it however you want. You can mold, shape, and change the world however you want, because the world's just energy. The world is just energy. That's all that it is. So if energy, science tells us, is never created or destroyed, that's what science tells us. That everything is energy, and energy is never created or destroyed. This isn't new age. This isn't like fake science or something. We know for a fact that's what Albert Einstein did. Equals mc squared showed us that energy and mass, energy and matter are one and the same. We know, we used to think atoms were solid. We found out they're empty space. They're just energy. So we know this for a fact. So then the question is, what vibe are you putting out? Fear, courage, abundance, absence, anger, regret? What energy are you putting out today? The third law of psychology and of the universe that I wish I knew earlier was the law of repetition, right? We talked about Hebbs Law, we talked about the subconscious. It's pretty powerful, right? But we shouldn't leave it at that, because the next question should logically be, if Hebbs Law is now what we're finding out with all this new science and new studies into brains, things that we couldn't find out 100 years ago because we didn't have the technology to monitor brain waves, or we didn't have the technology to see synaptic connections built in real time. We have all that now. So then the next logical question is, how can you use it to your own benefit? Hacking is a popular term now. People play video games all the time now. Well, how do you hack your own psychology and your own energy if we know for an absolute fact that the previous 2 points are real? And that leads us to the law of repetition. The subconscious mind is a very powerful thing. It controls 95% of our life, but people don't need to be afraid because you aren't stuck with these belief systems. People go like, what about like my bad belief systems? Oh my God, am I gonna attract something bad? Oh my God, the bad energy and it's all stuck in me and I don't know what to do about it. Oh my God. Through repetition, you can change it instantly, pretty much. How do you get a song stuck in your head? We all live in a yellow submarine. If I sang that for 4 hours, it'll be stuck in your head. Well, think about, that's basically what's happened to you throughout life. Instead of choruses of the Beatles songs, it's choruses about things. Money's the root of all evil. You're not smart enough. You have a learning problem, so you'll never be good at this. You're always last in your class, right? Like whatever these things, it might be about your weight, it might be about relationships, it might be about being in abusive relationships, it might have to do with productivity, intelligence, communication skills. Those are the choruses that are programmed into us, but the subconscious can be reprogrammed through repetition. In the most crazy examples, the CIA was doing MK Ultra. We all know about that, like crazy brainwashing, mind control. That's what they were doing though. They were trying to erase people's minds and build new minds for them and see if they could basically turn someone into an algorithm based off of their own desires. Well, why not instead program ourselves for our own desires? And the law of repetition says, whatever ideas and feelings are most dominantly held will become the new operating system of the mind. Now, the law of repetition is also what allows us to access Hebbs Law. Remember, every time we have a thought and feeling, we activate new cells in our brain. Hebbs Law says that those cells fire and wire together. So when we start to think and feel different and we use repetition to do it, we take advantage of Hebbs Law and we take advantage of the law of vibration that we just discussed, because you start to send new emotions and feelings to your subconscious. And your subconscious is your emotional mind. It memorizes the most emotional, repeated things. And those become the habits that control our life. But the law of vibration says everything is energy. So your emotions are energy too. Your feelings are just being consciously aware of your own emotions, and your emotions are energy. So the law of vibration begins to work through the law of repetition too, because we start to memorize new feelings. We start to memorize new emotions, new ways we feel about our future, new ways we feel about ourselves, new ways we feel about money, love, romance, health, happiness, the possibilities that are out there. This goes into the subconscious, reprograms our mind, and our life starts to change. Constant spaced repetition. The most powerful way to do that is to start to use hypnosis. I've been doing it for 10 years. Right there down below is my free success hypnosis. It's jakeshypnosis.com right there down below. It's my free success hypnosis to reprogram your subconscious mind, activate Hebbs Law to build a new mind that becomes a magnet for you to attract what you want quicker, faster, and easier, activating the law of vibration through the law of repetition. So right there down below is my free success hypnosis pinned to the comments in the description. Make sure you hit the bell notification on this video to get notified for new videos. Thank you for watching all the way through. Give me a comment down below and smash that like button. Let me know what you think.